Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. I am TheAmazingFlec, and this of course is Lucy the cat, my PR agent and my purr agent, and we're just enjoying a Sunday night here at the Paisley couch together. I just got done filming a tutorial on how to balance a ball on top of one's head. So if you're interested in learning how to do this, please check out my Circus and Flow Arts Basics playlist here on my channel, and you too can learn how to balance round objects on the top of your dome. And speaking of the top of one's dome, it reminds me of that song Freestylers from 1990s. It was a techno song. Freestyler, rock a microphone, boom, boom. Straight from the top of my dome. You're not from the 90s? Never mind, you probably don't know what I'm talking about. It was a pretty good song. Yeah, the 90s were a pretty fun time to grow up in. We didn't have all the internet and the social media, at least not to the effect that it exists nowadays. I mean, we had our 14.4 dial-up modems, and then they eventually got up to 28.8 dial-up modems. If you don't know what 14.4 modems or a 28.8 modem is, or a 56K, 56K was the industry standard for a little while, especially for those people who played games. Anyways, these are all dial-up modems. These are modems that you would have to use with your phone, and you have to dial up to an internet service provider, and you get access to the internet so you can, spend 10 minutes looking up one photo, because the photo had to load bar by bar. And the information traveled so slow for the time. At the time, it was amazing technology. It was much quicker than faxing. Anyways, it was amazing to grow up in that time period because we didn't have all the pressures of social media. There's a lot of advantages to social media, but as we all are starting to realize, these cell phones that we carry around that are meant to connect us together have really done quite a service of keeping us isolated from one another. And it's kind of a sad thing to witness, especially with how we had to shut down a lot of things for 2020, and suddenly all we have is the social media, this thing, once again, that's supposed to unite us, and it only makes us feel more isolated, more out of touch with each other, and feeling like our own lives are not amazing and not worth as much as everyone else's. You get these pictures of people doing all sorts of amazing adventures around the world. You get these pictures of people doing selfies while they're on a boat in the tropics, or doing snorkeling, or climbing mountains somewhere in a foreign country, or exploring the rainforest somewhere else, or the Great Wall in China. And you have all these pictures of people having fun with their lives, and all we're seeing is that high point, or those moments where they're having a really good time. And it kind of gives us the impression that everyone else is out there leading these real amazing lives, and we're just doing nothing else but sitting inside of our house balancing a ball on top of our heads, talking into a camera. Just kidding, just kidding. But seriously though, social media is a very curious thing, and to grow up in the 90s without that pressure and without that sort of expectation that you can just get a hold of anyone by texting them immediately, or that you can just give them a phone call and reach them immediately also. Back in the 90s, you had to call someone's house, their landline, and they'd answer or they wouldn't answer. And if they didn't answer and someone else answered, they'd take a message and leave it, and then you'd get a call back later on. And hopefully they would call you back when you were actually at home too. Back then, you'd have to meet up with people at a certain time. You'd say, oh, let's meet up at 7 o'clock. And if someone was late meeting up the other person would have to sit there and wait for sometimes 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes. And you'd sit there and wonder, I hope they didn't get in an accident. What happened? Did they make a wrong turn on the freeway? I don't know. Nowadays, we have the power to text immediately, so we know exactly what's happening. And I guess those are arguably good advantages to having the phones and the social media, but it's a trade-off. It really feels like a trade-off to me. I don't know, I look back at those memories and it was quite carefree time to be alive. There was a lot less pressure to be or act or behave in certain ways. There was a lot less stress and anxiety attached to the idea of being able to be contacted at any point by an employer, a family member, or a girlfriend or a boyfriend, or anything like that. There was a lot more freedom when it comes to being able to just exist as a human being. I don't think I got my first cell phone until after high school. And that phone was just a standard flip phone where I could text, but I could only text so many characters. I can't remember how many I could text. And I don't think I got my first smartphone until maybe 2006 or 7, maybe 2008. I don't even remember anymore, but it was about between 10 to 15 years ago when I got my first smartphone. One that had a touch screen instead of buttons to push. And I remember that was such a revolutionary idea where I can get on the internet wherever I was. I didn't have to be at a computer and dial it up or be connected to a coax cable with a cable company. Now I had internet wherever I went. I didn't have to print up MapQuest directions. Do you guys remember MapQuest, having to go print up directions off of your computer so you can look at them when you go place to place? I mean, I'm sure the boomers out there are laughing at me because they used to have to use folding maps to get other places, and now everyone is out here using GPS instead of folding maps or MapQuest. Back in my day, we used MapQuest, you know, kind of stuff. Yeah, I didn't expect to go on that whole entire tangent with the internet and technology changing and the world changing because of some reference to a song in the 90s about freestyling off the top of my dome. But hey, you get what you get here on my channel. I don't know, I'm a weird guy. Well folks, it sounds like my food is out of the oven. I should probably stop talking your ear off, turn this camera off, eat my food, edit these videos, and then get some sleep because I have a 16-hour shift tomorrow and I gotta do another video for you then. So let's get some sleep. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Remember to never give up, do your best, stay true to you, and be amazing. Good night. Oh, Lucy.